points to get the decision, Purdy.
Well, Matthew Saad Muhammad certainly proved one thing, Bob. Despite the fact that he'd never gone more than 12 rounds before, he showed his stamina in those two 14th round knockdowns of a very tough fighter.
Immediately after the fight, Conti's handlers claimed that there was a foreign substance on the gloves of Matthew Saad Muhammad, and that caused the vision problems that Conti apparently had. Well, in any case, a unanimous decision for Matthew Saad Muhammad.
And this afternoon, live from Atlantic City, Gil Clancy and I will be here for coverage of the WBC Light Heavyweight Championship fight between Matthew Saad Muhammad, making his 6th title defense against the number 8 ranked challenger Vonzell Johnson from Columbus, Ohio. Saad Muhammad from Philadelphia. He is 26 years of age. He won the title in April of '79 with a knockout of Marvin Johnson. He has successfully defended 5 times, twice against John Conte, once against Louis Pergo, Yaki Lopez, and Ladi Mwala. Vonzell Johnson is 28 years of age, currently ranked number 8 in the world by the WBC, number 7 in the world by the WBA. 22 victories, 1 loss, 11 knockouts, the former Pan American champion in 1975. But Vonzell Johnson has fought only 5 times in the last 3 years. And he has not fought a tremendous list of tough opponents. His best wins have been over Wayne McGee, Terry Lee, and Hildo Silva. In the corner, you can see a familiar face, Angelo Dundee, one of our commentators on CBS boxing coverage, and today in his working role as the manager of Vonzell Johnson, something that he has taken on fairly recently. Johnson is trained by Del Williams, as you see Angelo Dundee putting in the mouthpiece of the tall Vonzell Johnson. The scoring under the WBC rules will by the 3 judges at ringside: Paul Cavalier from Wayne, New Jersey, Yves Shane from Fort Lee, New Jersey, and William Kostrup from Trenton, New Jersey. The referee who will not score is Tony Perez from New York. The challenger in white, the champion in black. Mandatory 8 count in effect, no 3 knockdown rule. Count will continue after the bell in the event of a knockdown, except in the final round. The 10-point must system is in effect. 9 points or less to the loser of a round, there can be a 10-10 even round. This is round 1, live from Atlantic City.
Tim, it looks as if Vonzell is going to try to feint, stick, move side to side, as we said earlier, try to kill the clock and try to win these rounds and just let them go by. Meanwhile, the champ is just going to press him, look to land those big punches.
Matthew Saad Muhammad, who's got those big punches, a devastating body puncher. 20 knockouts in his 28 victories. Victories over Monte Parla, Marvin Camel, Richie Cates, among the others that we mentioned in his title defenses. His last fight, a 4th round knockout of Ladi Mwala back in November of 1980 at San Diego. Johnson's last fight was in December, a 10-round decision over Ernie Barr. Matthew Saad Muhammad, managed by Bilal Muhammad and trained by the veteran Sam Solomon. Johnson, in pre-fight conversation, very confident. Feels fortunate to have gotten the chance at the title. Remember, Matthew Saad Muhammad was going to fight the WBA light heavyweight champion, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, the former Eddie Gregory, on that now aborted big fight card at Madison Square Garden, which was scheduled for February 23rd. The disappearance of MAP's promoter Harold Smith, the card went down the drain, and thus the unification of the light heavyweight title, at least temporarily. Well, Vonzell Johnson gets his opportunity at a championship.
The champ landed a real solid right hand inside then, Tim. Shook Johnson a little bit.
Johnson has lost only once to Jerry Celestine of New Orleans.
More important, he's never been stopped.
Under a minute to go in round 1, scheduled for 15, live from Atlantic City on the CBS Sports Spectacular. Johnson has shown a lot of movement in this first round. Matthew Saad Muhammad doing what he normally does, cut off the ring, keep the opponent in front of him.
Well, he's trying to load up on one big punch, and I don't know if that's the correct thing to do. I think he just should get his hands moving. The big one will take care of itself.
Under 30 seconds remaining. We're down to 15 in this first round. Whoa! Muhammad was staggered as he was a little bit off balance when he took that shot. Final seconds of round 1. We are back for round 2, live from Bally's Park Place Casino Hotel in Atlantic City, New Jersey. This is the WBC Light Heavyweight Championship fight. The champion in black, Matthew Saad Muhammad. Now circling to the left of your screen, the challenger, Vonzell Johnson, ranked number 8th in the world by the WBC and a notch higher by the WBA.
Tim, that left hook that Johnson landed in the first round could help him. Not the fact that he hurt Muhammad, but the fact that he's going to make him respect him, which means that Muhammad will fall for the face a little better to give Johnson a little more chance to operate. It really was a valuable punch for him to land. Muhammad knows he just can't walk through him. He has to respect the guy a little bit.
Celebrity-filled crowd here to watch this title fight, including Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, the WBA champion. Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Ron Jaworski, his teammate Leroy Harris, Baseball Hall of Famer Willie Mays, WBA lightweight champion Hilmer Kenty, and many other boxing figures. Little blood from the nose of the champion Muhammad. The jab of Vonzell Johnson starting to take some effect. Johnson weighed in at 174, Muhammad at 174 and a quarter, both well under the 175 limit.
Johnson's showing a real fast left hand. He snaps his jab and then he throws a short hook over. There was the hook. He caught the champ coming in with the hook.
Gil, who can forget that tremendous fight against Yaki Lopez? Muhammad in a lot of trouble, middle rounds of the fight, and then just showing his championship heart and a lot of stamina, came back with a 14th round knockout victory over Lopez. It looked like he might lose his title that afternoon here on CBS.
Well, he's a champ. He's got a great heart. He wants that championship. He wants to keep it.
Under a minute to go, round 2.
He likes being champ. And all fighters do. They love that. They walk around and speak like, "Hi, champ." Really makes them feel good. And that's why they fight so hard. And they're an improved fighter. Most everybody, after they become a champion, becomes an improved fighter.
Overhand right from the champion landed to the ear of Johnson. Yes, and to Muhammad, it's important to unify the title, which boxing fans would like to see too. And indeed, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad has the same idea in mind. So hopefully that fight, since canceled, will once again be made if Muhammad retains his championship here. He's got Vonzell Johnson in front of him right now to worry about. He said he does not take any of his opponents lightly. Final seconds of round 2. Round 3, live from Atlantic City. The champion of the WBC light heavyweight division, Matthew Saad Muhammad in black. The challenger, Vonzell Johnson from Columbus, Ohio in white. Tim Ryan with Gil Clancy at ringside. Angelo Dundee, often with us in our commentary, working today as the manager of Vonzell Johnson.
You know, the crowd is oohing and awing every time the champ throws a punch, but he hasn't been landing them.
Well, he's got a lot of partisan fans here, naturally, from nearby Philadelphia. That's his home. Johnson is the outsider in this milieu from Columbus, Ohio. He's been jabbing well through these first 2 rounds in a little bit.
He surprised me, Tim, because he hasn't been an active fighter. In the last couple of years, he hasn't fought any real good fighters. And he's really surprising me with his performance thus far. And you know, the funny thing, Tim, he's never been stopped in a fight, and yet, as tall as he is for the weight, he doesn't seem to have the body to absorb a punch. But apparently he's been able to do it.
You mentioned his inactivity, just 5 fights in the last 3 years. He's had 23 in all, but an outstanding amateur background. There's an overhand right from Muhammad that landed. Johnson was the Pan American Games champion in '75, the National AAU and Golden Gloves champion in '74 before turning professional, 3-time Ohio champion AAU and Golden Gloves. Distinguished amateur career. Said people have been ducking him, that he's had difficulty getting fights since he became a professional. Flurry by Johnson.
The champ is being impatient. He keeps trying to get this guy out of there with one punch. That's not necessary. He really has to feel the other fighter. Every punch is a big punch. Throws him off balance, so he can't, like, for example, when he throws the right hand, he can't hook behind it. He just has to move those hands and feel the guy.
Under a minute to go, round 3.
Every punch is a home run ball.
Again, a trickle of blood from Muhammad's nose. Nothing serious. Got that left jab through to Johnson's face.
There goes that home run ball again. You're not going to hit a smart fighter like Johnson with a big punch like that. He's telegraphing his punches. Just has to
Less than
snap them
30
out
seconds remaining in this third round. Coming to the end now of round number 3, live from Atlantic City.
All right, break. Step back. Step back.
4 of this scheduled 15-round WBC Light Heavyweight Championship fight. Vonzell Johnson, the challenger, in white. The champion, Matthew Saad Muhammad, in black.
Sam Solomon really gave his fighter a talking to between rounds. He told him to steady himself down, get the job done. Let's see the effect it has on the champ.
Gil Clancy with Tim Ryan. Live coverage on the CBS Sports Spectacular. There's that overhand right. He hasn't landed that one but once. And he gets the counter-punching from Vonzell Johnson after the miss. Matthew Saad Muhammad had been training for his unification fight against Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. That fell apart. He continued to train, but he had to obviously change his strategy for this tall opponent. Do you think it's had any effect? Good, bad, or indifferent?
Well, I think that he was really up to fight and unify that title. I think that this is a little bit of a letdown. He's defending his own title, but he wanted to become the champion of all the world, not just half. So I think there is a little letdown. As far as the fact he's fighting a different style, I'm sure that Sam Solomon had good sparring partners similar to Johnson in training, and I don't think that's it at all. I think it's Johnson. Anytime he would fight Johnson, whether he had another fight on first, his style is giving the champ a little trouble. I should say a lot of trouble right now.
We're in the 4th round. We'd like to alert our stations that we'll be going to a station break at the end of this round 4. Tony Perez warning the fighters to break when he tells them to, not to punch on the break. Johnson has had a lot of movement through the first 4 rounds. He says he's in good shape, expects to be around the full distance if it goes that far, and that could be a factor whether he can keep up this movement, Gil.
Well, with the lack of action that he's had in the last couple of years, I think that he may be having trouble going that 15-round distance. It's a tough way to go when a guy like Matthew Saad is putting this pressure on you all the time. If he does it, it's an amazing feat.
Under a minute to go in the 4th round. Johnson in white, Muhammad the champion in black.
Watching Johnson, I can see why he won all those amateur championships. He's real quick. He has that height. He uses it, and he throws nice combinations.
20 seconds left in the round. Another wild miss by Muhammad, trying for that home run ball as he has since the fight began. And we'll be back after this word from your local stations.
Sam Solomon, between rounds, told Matthew Saad to forget about that right hand. He says, feint the right hand and throw that left hook. He says, and when you throw a right hand, throw that left hook off it. That means he just has to snap that right hand there and throw the hook. When he tries to throw the right hand too hard, he takes himself off balance.
Well, as he did there with a wild left hook, but the left hook is his punch. That's the one he's famous for, but Solomon hasn't seen it, nor have we so far. It has not been a factor.
Well, Sam's giving him the correct advice now. It's up to him to go out and be able to do it.
Johnson still with a lot of movement. And he scored to the body with that left. Vonzell Johnson from Columbus in white. The champion Matthew Saad Muhammad in black from Philadelphia. His 6th title defense. And that's just since April of '79, so he's been an active champion.
Johnson so far is making all the right moves. There he is, moving to his right, moving to his right. That takes the left hook away from the champ. That's a very tough move to make for a fighter. There he just did it again. Most fighters move to their left all the time. They have him moving to his right, now back to the left, and he's taking the champ off his feet. Can't get set to throw that big punch.
Now starting to fire the jab a little more in this round. He has not thrown a great number of punches in round 5 so far, but he's just made it difficult for Muhammad to get to him.
Well, it's a question when the distance is going to tire Johnson out and where he's going to have to stand toe-to-toe. There's always a moment of truth in the fight. I don't know when it's going to come in this one. There he is, moving to the right to avoid that left hook again. A lot of these young fighters should watch that movement now. They can pick something up.
Under a minute to go in the 5th round. Gil Clancy with Tim Ryan. We are live from Bally's Park Place Casino Hotel in Atlantic City. Johnson slipping that overhand right and now lands with a straight right of his own. What a nice move out of Muhammad's corner. Feinted the right hand lead and landed the left hook. Johnson fighting with a lot of confidence right now.
Johnson's feeling real good right now. Feeling good.
Under 30 seconds, round 5. Remember, Matthew Saad Muhammad is a good late round fighter. He got in trouble against Yaqui Lopez, came back to win it. So this one's got a long way to go in defense of his title. Final seconds, round 5.
Here's a replay. There's Muhammad missing with that big right hand again, and Johnson goes back and counters. That's what's been happening all fights so far.
We're in round number 6, scheduled for 15. Tim Ryan with Gil Clancy, live from Atlantic City, the WBC Light Heavyweight Championship fight. And so far, the champion having trouble solving the challenge of Vonzell, Johnson, and White. Showed a little muscle for the first time there, too.
Well, he's fighting a very, very smart fight. He lets the champ chase him, and when the champ misses, he doesn't show any respect at all. He bangs him. That's the way to win a fight. He can keep it up.
Vonzell Johnson with Angelo Dundee and Del Williams in his corner. Del Williams has been training him. He also trains Leon Spinks and has been credited with helping Spinks on his road back. And of course, Angelo Dundee bringing his years of vast experience into the corner of Vonzell Johnson. Right hand lead. Johnson blocked the worst of that. Got his hand up just at the last second.
The champ is coming in like a freight train now. Johnson's going to have to hit him a good shot, teach him a little lesson again. He's really running after him now, and when he does that, he's going to leave himself wide open. Here he comes again. You can see him coming. He's setting himself and lunging.
Gotta be a little frustration for the champion at this stage of the fight.
Well, Johnson's starting to get a little tired now. It's only the 6th round. He's starting to get a little tired.
Well, that is the big question we raised early. Could he keep up this movement? Of course,
he's talking to the champ now.
In the interview, he said, "I'll be there at the finish if it goes that long."
Well, he's talking to the champ. He's acting mean.
28-year-old Vonzell Johnson, number 8 ranked contender. Under a minute to go, round 6. I'm sure Matthew would like to get him to stop and fight flat-footed, at least for one flurry, but so far Johnson has not succumbed to that. A little blood on the nose of the champion Muhammad that may be from his nostril and wiped up there. We'll watch that closely. Under 30 seconds to go, round 6.
Johnson is not going to be able to keep up this bouncing for 15 rounds. Then he's going to have to settle down.
He slipped there. No knockdown. Well, it is a knockdown. And he gets up saying, "He never hit me." I did not think that was from a blow.
Absolutely not. He just tripped over his own feet.
And Johnson assuring the champion that it was not a knockdown. They did make the count, however. We're back with a look at what was called a knockdown. As you can see on the replay, he was trying to step to his left, duck under a punch. And as he says to the referee, "Hey, he never hit me." And it certainly appeared that he did not. We are live now on round number 7. Tim Ryan and Gil Clancy, WBC light heavyweight championship fight. The champion, Muhammad in black, has been in pursuit of the very fast-stepping Vonzell Johnson, and our question continues to be, can Johnson keep up this movement through 15 if he has to?
Tim, the answer is no, he can't. He's going to have to settle down, throw a few good solid punches to get the champ to respect him again. That way the feints will work and he can move around. He's really galloping around the ring.
The referee is Tony Perez from New York. He is not involved in the scoring. That is done by 3 judges at ringside under new WBC rules. Paul Cavalier, Eva Shane, and William Kostrub, all from New Jersey.
All right, now Johnson settled down, Tim. He's just doing a nice solid combination. Now he's back to the movement again. He has to settle down, throw a couple of good snappy punches in there.
Still just a trickle of blood from the left nostril of the champion Muhammad. Neither fighter in any problems with cuts or swelling.
That was the first time that the champ cut the ring off pretty good. Johnson tried to move to the right, and the champ took a step over and kept him right in front of him. He's learning. There, he just did it again.
No damage done there. Nor there. Under a minute to go, round 7. He gets a warning from Tony Perez.
Well, I don't know if he should have got a warning, Tim, because Johnson turned his back.
Yes, he did.
You know, they say protect yourself at all times in that ring.
Under 30 seconds, round 7.
That was the first time that Johnson made a miss. He was open and Johnson did not peg. I think he's starting to show a little too much respect for the champ.
We're coming to the end now, the 7th round.
Sam Solomon told the champ, he says, look, he knows about the overhand right. He says, forget about it. Stop throwing that overhand right and start throwing those left hooks to the body. Now let's see what the champ does.
Gil Clancy with Tim Ryan. We are live from Atlantic City in round 8 of the scheduled 15-round championship fight. The champion in black, the challenger Vonzell Johnson in white. If you've joined us along the way, we've got it to be a pretty even fight on our scorecards, with Johnson getting the early lead, the champion coming back in the last few rounds. And of course, how the judges see it may be entirely different. There's no doubt that Muhammad has been frustrated by the movement, particularly to the right of Vonzell Johnson.
I've noticed that this is the first round that the champ is starting to use the left jab. That's what you have to do. You feel your way in behind that jab. This guy's a tall guy. Then when you get the distance, you can throw the big punches.
Twice the right-hand lead.
At least that was a little better, Tim. He didn't throw himself off balance. He just threw it right at the fella's chest.
Johnson has proved to be hard to hit thus far. We're now in the 8th round. Muhammad has yet to land one real good, solid shot.
Tim, now we can see why he's never been stopped as a pro.
Right.
Has to show a little more offense, though, if he wants to win this championship.
Yes, he does. He scored a good right counter to the body there. Johnson breathing a little more heavily for the first time in this fight. Mouth open a little more often.
That was, again, the champ doubled up a jab, moved in a little more closely that time. That's a little better. That's what he has to do. Get that range.
Under a minute to go in the 8th round. Overhand right White landed that time. And then Muhammad muscled him back out to the center of the ring. Under 30 seconds to go, round 8. Some blood now from the nose of Vonzell Johnson.
See, Timmy's moving in behind that jab now.
Right hand just grazed Johnson, but he is finding the range a little more closely each time.
Some excitement now. Angelo Dundee said this is the 9th round. Now start backing him up. Let's let it all hang out. Let's see what happens right now. That's what he has to do. Take his shot. He wants to become champion. I'd be telling him the same thing.
Round number 9. Angelo Dundee exhorting his challenger Vonzell Johnson and White.
He told him to back him up. He's standing flat-footed, Johnson, but he's edging back.
Low blow warning to Matthew Saad Muhammad from referee Tony Perez.
Johnson is standing toe-to-toe now. Good, solid combinations.
Okay, break. No pushing. Step back, please. Come on, no pushing. Step back.
Well, this is where we'll find out how strong he is if he continues to stand
He's
there
doing a
toe-to-toe.
number on a champ's head right now.
Digging to the body, Johnson landing.
Well, Johnson certainly paid attention to Angelo Dundee's orders. He's not bouncing around the ring. He is letting it all hang out. Whether it's going to win it for him or lose it, he's taking his shot.
Well, this should be where Muhammad wants Johnson. Let's see whether the champion responds to the change in style. Overhand right from the champion. Counter punching from Johnson.
This certainly is no easy fight for the champ.
Combination from Muhammad landed.
Well, now we know Johnson can take a punch.
Good right to the body back from Johnson. Left hand landed from the champion, and he blocked the counterpunch. Under a minute to go, round 9.
Two good left hooks by Johnson. He's a classy fighter.
Right hand counter off Muhammad's miss. Good left hand from Johnson. Under 30 seconds, round 9. Seconds of the 9th round. We're back looking into the corner of the champion, Matthew Saad Muhammad, and replaying some action from that 9th round. That overhand right missing from Matthew Saad Muhammad and paying the price with that right hand from Johnson.
Angelo Dundee complained that the champ was thumbing his fighter. He said, it's okay, it's okay. I hope that he doesn't tell his fighter to go back and do the same thing. I don't like to see that. I like the left referee to take control of the fight and keep control.
Angelo Dundee still hollering at referee Tony Perez. We are live now in the 10th round of the scheduled 15-rounder. The champion, Matthew Saad Muhammad in black, has had his hands full with the challenger, Vonzell Johnson in white from Columbus. Close fight as we see it to this point into the 10th round. Boxing action live on the CBS Sports Spectacular today from Bally's Park Place Casino Hotel in Atlantic City.
Johnson has a cut over his left eye. Not quite, it's not wide open right now, but there is a cut there. Angelo Dundee's going to have to go to work between rounds.
I'd like to alert our stations along the line. We'll be going to a station break at the end of this round. This is round number 10.
You notice, Tim, we mentioned earlier that there's a moment of truth in the fight. Now both fighters are flat-footed. There's no more of that lateral movement from Johnson. Now it's punch for punch. Always comes a time.
Good left hook landed from Johnson.
Oh, he has talent. Can you imagine if he would have been an active fighter? Let's say if he would have had 20 fights in the last 3 years instead of 4 fights against ordinary guys.
Well, he claims that he was being ducked by fighters, that he couldn't get fights.
I can see why. He's tough. Tough guy to fight.
Oh, what a right-hand lead. That snuck that uppercut through and landed it right on the chin of the champion.
Unless Johnson completely runs out of gas, Tim, the champ is in a lot of trouble this afternoon. Johnson is the sharper puncher and a smarter fighter.
Under a minute to go in the 10th round. Blood from the nose of Johnson. Nothing apparently serious.
He's tired, though, Tim. Johnson's tired.
Well, we can see a little weariness setting in the 8th round. His legs don't look as strong now.
No, he's tired.
He vowed to be in it at the finish. He knew that Lopez and Conte in the 15-round loss were losers because Muhammad was stronger in the late rounds. Johnson said, that won't happen to me. 20 seconds left in round 10. Muhammad leaning on the challenger Johnson, and Tony Perez, the referee, in to separate them. We'll be back after this word from your local station.
Boy, Angelo really did a number on Johnson between rounds. He says, I want you to back this guy up, shove him. He says, you got the title in your hands. The other guy's got nothing left. I don't know about that.
Well, that's what you usually tell your fighters, though, right?
Well, that's right.
Whether you believe it or not.
I've seen my fighters come back exhausted. As soon as they sit down, I tell them the other guy's tired.
This is round 11. The champion, Matthew Saad Muhammad in black. Vonzell Johnson, the challenger, in white.
But, you know, Angelo is right. His fighter is tired, but what makes you think that the other fella's so fresh? You know, one big punch when guys are tired can make a big difference in a fight. And there was a big left hook by Johnson. A big one.
Slight cut over the left eye of Johnson has not been a factor thus far, but
he's winging, though, Johnson. He's really landed some shots in there.
Doctor routinely checked it out between rounds, and that angered Angelo Dundee as well. So go look at the other guy. Good short right hand from Johnson.
Toe-to-toe action, Tim. Solid punches. Both fighters are getting hit.
Good left hand to the body from the champion, Muhammad.
Down a little south of the border, Tim.
Solid exchange, and Muhammad backed up Johnson. He's got him in trouble. The champion sends Vonzell Johnson to the canvas. Vonzell Johnson, the challenger, decked by the champion Muhammad. He's up in time telling Tony Perez he's all right. Round 11, the champion trying to finish him off.
Nailed him with a good right hand against him. Johnson's really tired. He's tired and in trouble. Here's that strength of the champ coming to bear now. He's such a strong guy. Big right hand.
It's all over.
Referee, stop the fight.
Stop the fight. Matthew Saad Muhammad defends his light heavyweight championship as Vonzell Johnson is stopped in the 11th round by the champion, who continues to show his strength and stamina late in the fight. He had his problems early, but Vonzell Johnson slowly running out of gas from about the 8th round on, although he still threw some tough punches even here in the 11th. But Matthew Saad Muhammad had the tougher one, sending Johnson to the canvas, and then Tony Perez stepping in to say, that's enough. The champion has retained his WBC light heavyweight championship for the technical knockout here in the 11th round. We're going to see that first knockdown again. Here it is, Gil.
Right hand on the side of the head, followed by a left hook. Here he goes. He's in trouble now, Johnson. He just overpowered him. Right hand, left hook, another right, another left, 7 punches.
And that last right hand and then the left straight.
He went down in sections, Tim.
Yes, he did. 6'4", Vonzell Johnson. And really, to all intents and purposes, it was over at that point. Tony Perez took a close look at Johnson, and once he was in trouble over in the corner to our left, he said, that's enough. Well, we'll be talking to the champion, Matthew Saad Muhammad, as we await the official announcement and the time of the TKO here in the 11th round. There is Vonzell Johnson, apparently none the worse for wear, but he was a beaten, tired man here in the 11th round. We're going to show you that knockdown one more time.
Look, count these punches that land. That was just a stiff jab, but that was the one that finally did it.
So there is Matthew Saad Muhammad. And he had his work cut out for him here this afternoon against Vonzell Johnson. They still haven't made the official announcement, but he's got that belt safely back on and will return to Atlantic City in just a moment. We are back here at Atlantic City in the ring, and we'll try and get Matthew Saad Muhammad, the champion, over to our microphones if we can dig through the traffic, the usual post-fight ring tracket. Here's Matthew.
Come on.
Matthew Saad Muhammad, an 11th round TKO. And Matthew, like the Yaki Lopez fight, the challenger made you work today. Was a good workout, or were you surprised by him?
Well, first of all, I'm going to say assalamu alaikum to all Muslim brothers, and hello, Montgomery County Boys Club, Steve Traits. He did give me a hard task in the beginning of the rounds because his height was very tall, so it made things unbalanced there for a while. So I had to take my time and really get loose up for there for a while, and until I got in and now.
Of course, we heard Sam Solomon saying, hey, Matthew, quit trying for that home run with that right hand. He said, go to work, do your other things.
Well, with tall men, you throw overhand right and left uppercut. I was throwing the right hand, but nothing coming back with the left uppercut, the left hook to the body. And, gradually, I eventually got it.
He showed a lot of movement, particularly going to his right very well to stay away from your left hook.
Well, that was very smart of him for a while. But I kept the pressure. I knew that he would get tired. A man can't keep on boxing. He's no Muhammad Ali.
Well, that's what we wondered about as the fight went on, whether he could keep it up or not. It looked to us about the 8th round that he started to slow down some.
Yes. Well, the body punches definitely got him, but, it took his toll. First of all, I want to say I'm dedicating this fight to all the Atlanta children, the 19 children that was assassinated over in Atlanta, Georgia. And I have a little green ribbon to show that. Right?
All right. The champion, Matthew Saad Muhammad. Now, you told me yesterday that your primary aim is to unify this light heavyweight title. We see Eddie Mustafa Muhammad here today. Is there any progress now that this one's behind you to perhaps make that fight again?
Well, first of all, I want to announce to the world, announce to the public that I think I'm ready to retire because, it's no money there. I mean, if they go hurry up and unify the title within 1 year, then I'll stay there. But I'm getting ready to retire if that doesn't come off.
But you'd still want that fight?
Well, definitely. That's the main purpose of why I'm here in boxing today, to unify the title. That's it.
Okay, we wish you the best of luck. Great job here this afternoon. WBC light heavyweight champion Matthew Saad Muhammad, and we're going to see that 11th round again. Gil Clancy back down at ringside. We'll have a chance to add to our commentary of this 11th round in which Matthew Saad Muhammad finally stopped the very vigorous challenge of Vonzell Johnson, and here it is again. Well, Gil, certainly Johnson champion all he could handle, and even Matthew Saad Muhammad said the same thing.
Well, Angelo said to let it all hang out. He said to win that title, he says you have to back this guy up and trade punches. And when something like that happens, sure, he has to try to win the fight. He couldn't win it the other way, but when you're throwing punches at the other guy and standing still, you got to remember that he can also hit you, and that's exactly what happened. That's what the champ did. His superior strength was what won him this fight, and conditioning, of course.
Well, the one thing that Matthew Saad Muhammad continues to show in his title fights is his conditioning. And, of course, he was training for the Eddie Mustafa Muhammad fight. And he has continued to show that in the late rounds, he's awfully tough to beat. When we did that Yaki Lopez fight, similar in some respects, and Lopez had him in a lot more trouble than Vonzell Johnson ever did in this one. But, again, in the late rounds, it was the tremendous strength and stamina of Matthew Saad Muhammad, and that's what made the difference here as he got Johnson into trouble. Johnson was tired, mouth starting to hang open a little bit more, and he was more flat-footed, although I guess Angelo Dundee wanted him to go out there and start trading here. He probably felt he had to make his move at this point.
Well, that's all he could do, Tim. Nobody can bounce around for 15 rounds. There always comes a time when you have to show the other guy that you're going to outpunch him and win that title. And that was the chance he took. He wanted to go home champion of the world, and he gave it a big shot. Just wasn't enough.
He sure did. A fine performance by Vonzell Johnson. Upcoming here is that right hand. That's the one that really rocked him. You can see him wobbly now, and a flurry of blows. I think Gil counted 7, and that last straight left sent him down to the canvas, and then Tony Perez stepped in after he got into trouble in the corner and called it a day.